Hey guys.
Hey, Jess.
Hey,
Hey,
Jess.
Jessica, congratulations.
Hi,
Yes.
Jess.
Congratulations.
Hey, newlywed.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Congrats.
Congrats.
much.
Congratulations.
Hi, Jess.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I heard you guys were worried about me last week. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
We
yeah.
sure were. Congratulations.
Listen, y'all know that's just a testament that I don't never cancel. So I appreciate it. And
Beautiful
shout out to
video.
Malcolm. And I heard it was Malcolm. Malcolm, who did you say helped you with the call?
It was a few people. Few
Okay,
of
well, shout out to everybody that chipped in last week. Like I
yeah, I
genuinely
couldn't
appreciate
do it by
y'all.
myself.
Congratulations.
Um, I genuinely appreciate y'all. I didn't even know, like, I swear I sent out that message and I had no clue that the message failed. And I didn't have, like, I was rushing, so I didn't have time to, like, do the email. So I just sent it in Telegram, but I didn't know that the Telegram message failed until I just started getting back-to-back calls from people like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yes, what's wrong? So, but thank you, everybody. Yes, I'm a newlywed, which it was very stressful. Okay, I planned that wedding in 2 weeks because it just was a thing. It was super small, it was super intimate. I was supposed to send out invitations because we were supposed to do a wedding in January. And then after talking to my event planner, she was just like, winter weddings aren't it. And because the weather is unpredictable. And then um you guys, well, some of you guys know, and if you don't know, then you'll eventually know. But there's another reason why I couldn't have it in January. And so she was
The
like,
baby.
your best bet is to push it to like next year. And at that point, we would be engaged for 3 years, and we were just like, let's just elope and then have a big wedding next year. But then my mom was like, no, we need to be there. So then I just ended up doing like a small ceremony just for our close friends and family. We still plan
How
on
many
doing
guests did you
it
have?
next year, but I really 40. It was 40 people.
That was
Good for
perfect.
you. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
super
It was
small.
Very
beautiful.
intimate and very
It's
personal.
amazing.
Yes,
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 Miss
very.
McDonald.
Congratulations. And you
Thank
Thanks for
look
sharing.
like a beautiful blushing bride. It was
Let me tell
absolutely
y'all how God
gorgeous.
be having my back though. And then we're gonna get to this call because I don't want them to spend too much time on this. But God be having my back. Like when I tell you, even the wedding dress shopping, it was so stressful because I was just going into different bride stores and they said it takes like 4 to 6 months to like order a dress or whatever. So I was over here stressing. So then they were like, okay, you're gonna have to buy something off the floor. And it just wasn't it. Like the dress was just not it. I hated the dress. And I have a seamstress who makes all my dresses, but it's prom season right now. So since I only gave her 2 weeks notice, she was like, Jessica, I really don't have the capacity. So I didn't want to push her or be selfish or anything. But like after I got my dress, I hated it. And I went to her, I was like, I know you can't make me a dress, but can you just do this? So then the night of, she texts me and one of her prom girls hated her dress. That dress was another girl's dress, and the girl hated her dress, and it just worked out perfect for me. So shout out to God because I got that dress literally the day before. Okay. And
It was meant to be.
yes, it was so meant to be. But anyway, let's start. Okay. I miss you guys. So,
Miss
I'm
you
looking
too.
forward to our session today. Because I know, and the crazy thing is, I wouldn't have canceled on Mother's Day if I thought about the fact of y'all know I be having a lot going on. I literally did not mean to cancel 2 weeks back to back. But let's go ahead and get into these charts. Hopefully, y'all have made a lot of money over the past 2 weeks for the ones that are trading. For the ones that are novice and just starting out your course, please do not even attempt to trade. Follow the process, follow the journey, stay patient. Okay. Once you master the skill, the money comes. If you try to get the money before you master the skill, you're not going to have anything but heartache. Okay. And that process, you do not want to go down that road. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And I actually will just backtrack a little bit. We'll just backtrack a little bit from when we were into the charts. I mean, if you know how to follow structure, it's pretty kind of apparent, like the actual structure that's been following through. I think we were here last time, but I mean, it's been so long ago at this point. Really, the only thing I'm gonna recap is just the understanding of your breaks and retests of structure. Um, I think this was like the very last point in which we had left off. So you guys can definitely go back in your last Zoom calls, and this is on live, right? Is this live?
Yeah,
I
you're
had
live.
the message that it was.
Okay.
Yes.
You are.
Hold on. But I didn't
Are
send
you
it.
are you recording?
No, well, if it's live, it's automatically recording, but I didn't send the message. I was like, because somebody just messaged me and asked me, are we doing the Zoom? And I'm like, yeah, it should be live. Hold on, let me just put this in the Telegram really quickly. Okay, perfect. Give me 1 second.
The reason why I ask is because it never sent the message stating that, or I didn't see it stating that it's recording. You know, where we have to hit OK. I don't remember seeing that.
Well, that's
Maybe
only
I
on
missed it.
Mondays.
Yeah, it popped up.
It actually came.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
No,
popped
that
up
normally
right before she got on.
that normally
I
happens
received
whenever
it.
you record. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we good. Okay. Share my screen again. All right, here we are. Can you guys see my screen on GU?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So first off, let me ask this, because like I don't want to recap past structure just because I feel like it's pretty obvious. Like really, we were just in the midst of breaks and retest. I think at the very last time in which we did this Zoom call, we talked about price selling. It literally sold to this demand zone right here. Then we had breaks and retests to the upside. We had a minor structure break and retest here, and then a major structure break and retest that occurred over here. Everybody should understand the concept or the difference between major and minor structure at this point, but we had this higher time frame trend line. So we had the break retest here up into this structure, and then now we're literally at this zone. Let's talk about where we are though. And okay, so if we look at this zone, I didn't mean to go to 4 hour on this trading chart. Yeah, I know it's way cleaner on the other broker just because that's not my trading chart, but on this one, I know I have minor structured fibs throughout. So it's gonna look very convoluted until, just give me a second, okay? So where we are right here, I just want to note though, okay, we're sitting on this zone, but if we look at our 4 hour structure, we had like a lot of wick exhaustion all through here. Y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay, so we have consolidation through here, right? We had a little bit of divergence on a smaller time frame that led to this sell later or in the midst of last week. And then we literally came to this literally like on this actually, I'm gonna go ahead and make this blue because this zone has been here for quite some time. People know my purple zones are my minor structure, but at that point, at the point in which it like is literally been forever in which we've been teetering in this area, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it blue. So we have rejection at the bottom of this zone and then price literally pushed straight up. So where we are now, I mean, it's pretty obvious. However, you do want to just be careful of this. So I'm looking for, all right, so I'm looking for a couple of things. I'm gonna give y'all minor, major, and then just what I have it doing. Okay, so I'm looking for something like this, but again, we need confirmation first. However, where we are, I'm looking for a price to like literally, with this negative 27 being up here. Now we already hit a couple of negative 27s, right? And it depends on where you start your fib in this structure, right? Because we have two structures in which, so if we draw the fib from here, this would probably be like a 61.8, if I'm not mistaken, at the top of this. Okay, so I'm gonna draw both of them with a, I'm gonna hide this for now so that it makes sense. And then I'm gonna draw it with the annotation. So if you look at this structure, we're at negative 61.8 right now on this fib. Let me drag the fib out so people can see the one I'm talking about. So here, right? But, oops, sorry. Right here. So negative 61.8, we all know that's like where our reversals, and then you also have like divergence starting to form. However, because we are in these zones, so remember when I talk about how like we have all of our rules, but you can't not pay attention to stuff that's around. Does that make sense? So like we could be at a negative 61.8, but if you see a zone near or you see something near that is like price could potentially test it, you don't want to just put all your eggs in one basket. Like you can, like you always, that's why we say multiple confluences. You have to have multiple confluences opposed to just one, because all of your structure matters. There's not where you just look at fibs and that's it, and that's the end all be all. It's not where you just look at trend lines and that's it, and it's the end all be all. You never look at freaking zones and that's it, and it's the end all be all. It's literally everything that flows together, okay? So with that, and then I put a fib right here. Now, the reason I'm leaning towards the first fib and not this fib is because, well, actually, you guys tell me why. Why am I not sold on this fib structure?
Because it's minor.
No.
3.6 pullback.
Yeah, because it only pulled back to my 23.6. So with my 23.6, we know that means continuation or consolidation. Now we clearly see we have a lot of consolidation, but in that consolidation, we never reached that TP level. So when I say like you want to be cautious of everything, right? And take it step by step. So when you have a 23.6, again, you have two things happening. That either means continuation or consolidation. So we see some consolidation, but typically that consolidation happens at that TP structure fib level. So for minor structure, we can see like in here, we have, okay, our move. So well, actually, let me go to minor to explain it. We have all of these things all through here. So this hit negative 27. If I draw a fib structure down here in the midst of this consolidation, this hit negative 27, so forth and so on. But where we are right here on this structure, I'm looking for overall a sell, but where we are, price, I want to see if price is going to come here. Like I'm going ahead of time just because I don't want this to be one of them calls where I'm like, you have to wait to see, but you really have to wait to see. But I'm gonna give you the things that I'm looking at to happen. I'm literally looking for price to push to here. Once it pushes here, if it breaks this top minor zone right here, I'm looking for it to come to this higher level here and then sell off. Does that make sense? Now, of course, if it comes to this level up here and then it is bullish, like extremely bullish, then we know that's going to keep buying. Like our first things, we never want to look too far into the future. But again, just because I haven't seen y'all in a couple weeks or whatever, I'm trying to give y'all like the actual total sauce opposed to just like, even though y'all know these calls, I only want to give the right now money, but I want y'all to see like the structure that I'm looking at. Does that make sense? Make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
makes
ma'am.
Yes, yes, it makes sense.
So again, let me actually go back to a higher time frame to explain that part. Hold on, give me a second. So through here, we all know, let's go to a different broker so people can see what I'm talking about. So we all know we've been literally consolidating through these, like I'm talking about Zoom call after Zoom call after Zoom call, this is something that we've talked about for the last few freaking months, where we've literally teetered in between these consolidating areas. And even when we've had breakouts of these consolidating areas, we pushed right back into the consolidating zones. So I had this 4 hour from below. This actually, I haven't, let's actually turn these around. And then I'll put these more minor only for this chart because for explanation purposes. Okay, so we pushed out, came right back in this area, pushed down, tested the previous level that was all the way over here. So we had all of this resistance now turned into support, all right, support level, and then literally rejected, pushed straight up, right? We've been in these areas. So these are areas you can't negate. So when I talked about me looking at an overall sell, the reason why is because we have all of this divergence setting up on a higher time frame. But remember, the higher time frame divergence takes forever to play out. You can't just hop into a sell long term as the end all be all. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So with this setting up, it's honestly kind of like the same similar pattern as this over here. It's kind of setting up like this right here, right? So, but remember, this is 4 hours. So even if you look at this cell is like a lot of pips to come to this area right here in the midst of this consolidation. Does that make sense?
That's
Yes,
just
that makes
how.
sense.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. Now, again, I broke it down on minor first because we also can't negate the areas that we are. So even if you look left over here, even though we've come here, you see how even when we pushed out, we came higher right here. You see these areas where even though you've consolidated in a specific area, that consolidation, like when you're trading, it's not just a high and a low of price where it's just like that 1 + 1 = 2. It's a range. So even when we draw, like when I talk about when we draw our zones and things of that sort, right? We draw our zones because it's a range of price. It's not just I'm going to put one line and this line be the end all be all for this area because it could reject off of this. As you see, we have little areas under here that it's rejected off of. We have little areas under here it's rejected off of. So I never put a line. The only lines you'll ever see in regards to on my charts is when I have my foundation levels. And then even then, I always explain it as price will consolidate in this range. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Sure does.
again, because we have this rejection right here, all right, I don't want to negate this, the high of this zone. Like when I said, I don't want to just say, oh, okay, guys, you have to wait this week because it's like so much going on, but you do kind of have to wait, but that is what I'm looking at to happen. So here, again, I want to see if you look left, and then remember, this is minor. So like all of this has happened literally last week. Okay. So this zone that is formed, this little purple zone, this zone that is formed, whoever is drawn on my chart, y'all about to make me take everybody annotation.
I'm sorry about that, Jess.
Oh no, you fine. Um, So this zone that is here, this zone is for minor structure, but this zone was literally formed this week. But you also can't just negate it. You see how every time we came here, we had a level of resistance. So that makes it valid. Now the question is, you see, we didn't just push straight up. We came here, we rejected for a reason. So that's why I said my first look that I'm looking to happen, I want to see if this pushes down. At this point, you want to look to see if you see any level of support be rejected, meaning you see all of these wicks that have pushed up, that will let you know that your buy is ready. All right, all of these like exhaustion wicks throughout here. So once we have this price pull back into this structure here, if this rejects, all right, because remember again, this is minor, all right, so this, and even if you, hold on, my annotation's not working again, give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Remember that this zone right here is minor. So I keep saying it's minor because why? What's the significance of minor structure?
Minor structure can easily be broken.
Minor structure can easily be broken. So I'm emphasizing it because of past data, we see that it's rejected, but because it can also easily be broken, we don't want this to just push straight up. But we already have literally consolidation starting to form in this area. So I want to see this, see if it pulls back to this area, to this zone, if not this trend line, but definitely like this zone where you have all of this consolidating through here. And then at that point, I want to look to see if it breaks this zone to push to this next level. Once we push to this next level, again, exactly what I just showed on the other chart. Again, I don't want to go to the 4-hour on this one because it's just confusing to people because I know it's a lot to look at. But if you look over here, this is that zone at the top where I'm saying we had rejection each time. The thing about trading, especially when you're in consolidating areas, the thing that you have to realize is what are the key areas? Like, because price can consolidate anywhere. What are the key areas? What holds up the most? Like, how do you know? Like, I feel like the question I get the most is, how do you know if it's going to break or go straight through? And the thing is that you don't know. That's why you have to pay attention in consolidating areas. Because I mean, if everybody knew, we would all be freaking billionaires, but you have to take these parts step by step. And I know some people who have been on this call for the past, I would say 3 months, every single call is a take it step by step area just because, I mean, step by step call because I mean, we can only trade what the market is giving us. Like we have a lot of buys and sells throughout this area, but this area is still in totality is in one big range. This was the range, but remember it broke down and now we're back in the range. But does everybody see that?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
clear,
Yes.
everybody? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Questions? Any questions?
You said there was a divergence right there toward the more current time. I
Mhm.
want you to kind of just draw out the diversion. I mean the lines there. You showed me that.
This is going down and this is going up.
Excellent. Thank you.
No worries.
I have a quick question. So I did catch the divergence during the week, but it was kind of weird. I guess I was tracking price because I had the break of divergence to the upside and I was waiting for the retest and then price continued to move down. So I guess I'm asking, like, how do you gauge the break and retest of the divergence to take a trade?
You have to make sure the structure that you're in for that divergence is accurate. So what I mean by when I just explained this 4-hour, this is going to take a while before this breaks down. And when it breaks down, it literally just like over here where you have this going up and then this RSI going down, like it takes a while for your structure on a higher time frame to break apart. This right here, like all through here, your minor structure divergence is completely different from your major structure divergence. I didn't have minor structure divergence setting up anywhere on this. The only minor structure divergence that you have are like the little buys and sells in, let me go back to my trading chart so I can show you. So for instance, I mean, you could use this as one, but this is minor. You see where you have like this diverging and then this broken retested, this area.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, minor. I don't really, this is a little iffy, but this could be divergence. But somebody have to be kind of experienced to catch that one. This right here, this one right here. So minor structure divergence is like, y'all remember that session where I talked about how if divergence is on a smaller time frame, it happens fast, and so expect it to be fast. So if it's like a 15-minute divergence, expect it to go like, I don't know, 50 pips somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas like if it's a higher time frame divergence, it's literally gonna take forever to like get the amount of structure to form before it breaks apart.
So with the minor structure, it's safe to use that break and retest, but maybe when it's a major structure divergence, we shouldn't use a trend line break and retest kind of. We should give it some more time to form structure.
No, I mean you should you should use break and retest on both. All I'm saying is the major structure is gonna take forever to play out. So
Okay.
even though you have a break and retest, you know how sometimes a trend line can retest multiple times. Like
Mm-hmm.
understanding areas is how you don't lose money because you don't jump in trades too prematurely.
Okay.
So you want to use break and retest for both. And it just depends on it. It depends on your experience level too, because some people could just see it without needing it. But I try to urge everybody just to use the break and retest because that is the way that I can guarantee y'all don't lose money. Like literally, that's the only way for a guarantee to not lose money. With everybody else, like with my more experienced people, you know what to look for. Like if you like even here, I'm at a zone, I have divergence, I don't have a break and retest, but it's clear as day because of where I am in regards to structure. Do you see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you're at a zone, you're at the top of the trend line, and there's a
Yeah.
divergence there also.
Exactly. So you have multiple things that line up to give you the reason as to why you're getting a trade. But for my like super novice people and stuff like that, like even this, I'm at a fib level, I have divergence, I literally am at a zone. It's clear as day that this is gonna break to the upside. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like depending on again your experience level, sometimes you might not need the break and retest because you can use other confluences to give you when to jump into that trade. But even for the higher time frame, like if you go to your assignments and you have that assignment where you have the minor structure trend line break and retest and then the major structure trend line break and retest, and then we talk about how the minor plays out before the major. The minor just gives you a better entry. That's still 100% the case, but it's the exact same thing. You're
I
just
have a quick question.
more of divergence opposed to just trend lines.
Hey,
Okay,
Jess.
thank you.
Hi, Poet. How are you?
Hey, Jess, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How you doing?
I just got I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for asking. I have a quick question. Like, I'm looking at the structure where you have your divergence lines, and I'm not seeing the divergence on the RSI. And I was wondering if you could help me. See, I see it on the last one, the one to the far right. I see that one. That one's clear. It's the other two, the one at that lower, at that low in the middle, and the one at the high at the top. I couldn't quite see it. Can you just help me see it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
This right here, this is going up. And then right here, this will, hold on, because hold on. Let me scoot this back down. So this one at the top, this is going up.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. Because it's kind of like an equal high at the RSI, and it created the lower low. I see it, and or the lower high rather. I see it now. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And I don't know if this is a new chart side this on my chart because usually both of them are drawn up, but yeah, this would
Yeah.
be. And why is it not
I have a question when you finish, Jess.
right? Okay, what's your question?
Where price is at the moment, can you have like a small downtrend line at the end of it? Like more to your left from the ice point to here.
Here?
Yeah,
Um,
coming through the middle.
I don't because I like to see more of my structure form just because I don't really look at that as a trend because I have more of resistance than I have a trend. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? So I don't have it there. Like when I draw my trend lines, I want to make sure I have like significant like highs and lows. Now, this is a higher point, but once I have all of these in the same vicinity. That is why I don't have a trend line there. Now, you can 100%, like sometimes there will be times where I will draw a trend line. Like if I see a trend on smaller structure or something, I'll draw a trend line. And then if price continues to form, I'll just delete it if it's invalid, right? But
Yeah.
so I don't want to discourage you from drawing a trend line because remember, like when it comes to trend lines, as long as you have 2 points, a trend line is valid, right? It's just I like to have more price structure for my trend. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. When I
Yeah.
put that trend line there, it looks like a break and retest for the upside.
Um this
It was more to the top of the middle, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, right there.
okay, got you. But I mean, even if though, like remember, you can have price teeter something for a while before it actually happens.
All
So,
right.
like I said, like I'm looking for price to push up to this. Remember that last fib that I drew on the chart, this fib structure? Where I
Yeah.
said -27s above, like I'm looking for it to push there, but I just can't be like you don't want to be naive and caught up and not paying attention to everything. Because right now we're literally in the middle of structure. Like anything could happen. We could push straight up here, right? Or we can push down here, like I said before, like what I'm leaning towards, and I'm only leaning towards is just by literally looking at everything that's around because I have this zone right here, I'm looking for price to pull back and then go up. Now, price could easily break this zone and push up and then push down totally. The only thing I have that's like a fact that I'm looking for is an overall sell long term, but because I have that divergence on the higher time frame. But again, am I about to jump in that right now? Absolutely not, because
So just wait for more
it's not
price to
ready.
form.
Yeah, like structure is not ready. Like if you look left every single time, like even here, right? So all of the last half of last week from Wednesday till now. So all Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we consolidated through here. You see that? Um, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Until you have verified like
And it's to do
rate.
with like it's a 23.6 pullback. So it's like
Yeah,
at the
it's
same
just
time
like
continuation.
exactly. So it's just like I'm not about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like I don't do guarantees on stuff that I don't have guaranteed structure for. Structure still forming. So you can't just like my
Gotcha.
saying, pray what you see, not what you think. When I move, you move just like that. Like it's like when price move, you move. Don't try to move before
Got
price
it.
move
Got it.
because you're just gonna be off. Like just like wait for, I mean, because this is there. Like just Just wait for the setups. You know what I'm saying? And then if you are a more like minor structure trader, or you trade like even in the midst of what's it called? Like um what's it called? Scalping. Like, let's say you are a scalper or whatever case may be, there are still moves and stuff that you could take advantage of in this that literally you just stem from your course.
So, Jessica, also, being that there's diversion, is it that buyers are selling or there's like more sellers coming in the market, which is almost the same thing?
So if I have divergence and price is going up, but the RSI is going down, I'm looking for it to go, I'm always looking for price to go the opposite. So if you look at this on a higher time frame, the way this divergence is setting up, you're looking for price to sell. You're looking for it to do the opposite. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jess,
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening.
Alrighty, so where you said the arrow, the divergence is at, you're saying that you're looking for price to sell soon. That's if it gets to that blue zone.
Say it again.
It gets to that blue zone. It's not gonna break the blue zone. I'm not sure if you're understanding what may I ask. Once it gets to the blue zone, that's where you were drawing price to go. That's what you said when we first started here. You're
Mm-hmm.
saying there should be a break and a retest of the zone
No, I didn't say a break and a
because
retest
of
of.
the divergence.
No, I didn't say a break
No.
and a retest of a zone. What I said was is that I'm looking for price to push here, push up to this zone,
Mm-hmm.
possibly. Like, none of this stuff is guaranteed until you have confirmation. I'm just giving you what I see right now based off of price and what's happening. Because remember, we have a zone, a minor right here. So again, that's why I have a minor sell, because we have a minor zone. So I can't just omit that. However, because the zone is minor, we have an impulse here. So depending on what price does tonight, that is when we'll have our first indication of our right now money. So if price looks like it starts to be a little bullish right here, then we can say, oh, okay, we're looking for price to go up. However, what I'm leaning towards is price to literally push to this zone here. At this zone, you'll see wick exhaustion or something indicating, okay, price is either going to push higher here. So it'll either stop at this zone or it'll push literally to where this trend line is. Or it can even come to where this level of resistance is tested at support and then push higher. At that point, then you look left to see, okay, what your structure is doing. So just like where I drew the bars pattern from the previous 4-hour structure, at that point, like I'm looking for a sell overall based off of my overall structure, but you can't just hop in trades until you have confirmation. So because I see divergence, I can see one setting up, but I'm not saying that I'm looking for that to happen right now because we don't have the setup for it until price keeps setting up.
Hey Jess, if it passes, if it goes through that 1 hour trend line, would you say the sales are going to start happening after that? After it passes that that trend line?
I just have this for my divergence right here.
Okay. But if
Um,
it breaks that, would you say the sales will start happening if it breaks that? If it
I
breaks
don't
the
want it to go
retest?
under this zone.
Okay.
If it goes under the zone, then yeah, I would say, okay, we are in a seller's market, but you'll be able to see your price structure play out as this form. I'm just saying from where we are right now, because y'all know I don't like to look too far in the future. It's just because I haven't been with y'all in 2 weeks. I'm just trying to give y'all more than what like Sunday calls is like, okay, I'm just giving you the right now money, and then the rest of the trades will play out as time passes. The right now money that I'm looking at is I'm looking for a rejection here and now. Again, I'm looking for that rejection just because left we have weak exhaustion, weak exhaustion, literally since Wednesday. So, but remember that is minor. So all I'm saying is that I'm looking for price to come here, and then at that point, determine are we looking for our buy now?
Yeah,
So
that's cool. I understood that part.
Makes
I
sense.
was just looking for the long term too, as well. Like you were saying, like you overall looking for the sales at some point. So I was just wondering if it finally breaks through that trend line, would
mhm.
the sales start happening?
But
So
the thing is that we don't even know that's 4 hour. We don't even know
right,
if
right,
that's
right.
happened this
I got
week.
you.
Like literally this week, we could only have a buy.
Right,
You
right,
know
right.
what
I
I'm
got you.
saying?
Yep.
So when it comes to that overall structure, like let's even just dissect one. So let's go back to our oops. Let's go back to our hold on. All right, so let's go back to our okay. Let's go back to this time frame and let's just highlight an area and go in depth into that part. So mm, these aren't even really divergence. These are just mm, these aren't diverging like the one that is happening now. Like here we have this consolidation pushed up and then down, but you see how it's not diverged though, but we'll still highlight it and just go into price. But it's not exact to what's happening right now. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
But let's just use it for learning sake. Hold on. Why my charts keep skipping? Hold on. Okay, there we go. I did that too far. All right. So you see how here, right? We have the push down of price, then price push straight back up, then down, then back up. Like this is what I mean by like you don't want to overly anticipate because it's no different than when I go over y'all second assignment in y'all's course and we talk about how most people who are like just starting out in trading, they just only analyze the higher time frame. And when they're on a higher time frame, let's say a 4 hour or something of that sort, when they're on these time frames, they could see the market going into a buy, but because they don't understand that smaller structure, right? The market will completely go 100, 200, 300 pips in the opposite direction because they don't understand the smaller structure before the overall structure that's happening. Does that make sense? So even if I just look at this, right? Let's say I'm looking for a sell. Okay, cool. Like we could have hopped in a sell right here, but if you're like looking for that long-term move, and let's say you're not paying attention to nothing, let's say you don't see that zone there, nothing, you just in the market just to be in the market. The market push up here, and then you're like, oh shit, I lost the trade. somebody's first assumption. Oh shit, I lost the trade, right? And then they'll push down, they'll be like, dang, I should have stayed in it. And then they get back in it. And then it pulls all the way back and they're like, damn, I lost the trade again. At that point, their account is like double negative just for the sell to play out. So it's like when people hop in trades too soon, this is like what I mean by you have to be very careful in consolidation and stuff like that, because this is the stuff that like messes with people's psychology. But the market is only doing what it's supposed to do. It's just that that's why you guys, one, are in the course, but also have to do the work so that you gain the wisdom to know when you need to hop into these positions or not. Because I'm as transparent with y'all as I can be. Like, it's not the end all be all. Like, there's never a one way answer in trading. Trading is hard as hell because it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's an accumulative, it's a accumulative,
Perfect.
accumulative.
Perfect. You
That
said it
sounds
right.
good.
Cumulative.
Accumulative.
Yes.
That's
There you
correct.
go.
It's an
You're right.
accumulation.
No, no.
Accumulation. There we go. It's an accumulation of multiple things that give you
Mhm.
the answer to a problem. So it's like when you're a child and somebody says, what's context clues? Like, it's the context clues that give you the answer. It's never just straight in front of your face until, once you gain experience, you'll have those ones where it's just like, oh, this about to bust. Like, I know, like, this has every single confluence in the book and stuff like that. But where we are in the market, sometimes we have those areas, especially on Sundays, like more recently than not, because we've been in these consolidated areas. We've had more often, I would say, in the past few months, where you have to take it step by step to see, because you can't hop in these things prematurely unless you want to be in drawdown. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So where your cursor is that divergence right there? Right, go down just a little bit, just a hair. So is that nope? Go back up to the highest of the structure. Is that divergence forming right there, or am I just am I tripping? Yeah, at the tops. Yeah, it's going up here, and then it's going down on your RSI.
Um,
I don't know. Maybe it's 2 weeks. Yeah, right
It
there.
yeah,
looks that way.
It looked
it
that
is,
way to me. It
it
just
is,
jumped out at me
it
just
is,
now.
this is diverged, but
Mhm.
this is a consolidate and diverge. So it's like you don't really have like a break and recess or nothing to solidify it. And this is a higher time frame too. So it's kind of like it's not multiple structure, but these are valid, like this is going higher and this is going lower, yes.
Thank you.
Shoot,
No,
the line charts help with that divergence too.
yeah. This is more of like a cleaner divergence that I would say is more, because this is so spiky. Like, this is a cleaner divergence. You see this area here?
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, it's
4 to
clear.
5. Yeah, it's more clear. I just try, like, when I trade, it's so much money out there that it just don't make sense to trade stuff that's not clear. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
it's always room for just the market to be. The way gold dropped last week, that's another reason why I was anticipating. Anticipation isn't a good word, but of course we know, like, the US dollar moves differently in currency. It moves differently in currency than it does in a commodity, but it's still the same concept. So because the way it dropped last week, I was expecting like, that's even more reason why I'm expecting this. But again, you can't just be like, oh, well, US dollar this, because gold is its own entity, because again, it's not just dealing with currency individually. Let's actually look at some.
So you think gold going to continue buying eventually soon? I know it probably is, but it's just
I gave y'all my gold my gold things at the. Do y'all know what Zoom called that time where I gave those gold projections? Because I feel like most of them already hit.
It was at the beginning of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, girl, I don't even. Let me tell you. When I hop off these Zoom calls with y'all, when I tell you my life is so compartmentalized, like when I'm with y'all, I'm with y'all. When I'm with Legend, I'm with Legend. Like when I'm with Michael, I'm with Michael. It's like it's so I feel like I live so many different lives that it's actually crazy. Um second, blah 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 blah.
Just regarding the holiday tomorrow, with the moves not happening until Tuesday, or it shouldn't be affected.
Um Holidays always affect. I mean, the markets just be slower until the holidays are.
I just
Watch out for news on Tuesday, actually. Watch out for news Tuesday. I think it's
I just
hey.
I do have a question on gold.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I share my screen?
Hold on one second. Hold on. I just gotta stay.
Okay.
Give me a second. Tuesday, consumer confidence at 10 a.m. Then unemployment claims are on Thursday for the US dollar. And consumer price index on Friday. It's not heavy news this week, but it's still enough news that it could shift the market. Whoever asked me to share your screen, you could share it briefly.
Okay. Oh, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Denise said I talked about gold on March 4th. So go back and watch that video.
I'm trying to share my screen, but you've disabled it. So unless you
could try again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I do have a question here on gold. I had this my 4-hour trend line coming from this high, and it broke structure here, and I had a zone here. I had divergence going -61, but it still broke and came to the zone. So I was wondering why it did that.
Well, one, that's not 4-hour structure. Two, where is that -61.8 coming from? Because
That was on coming from my minor structure here, from this high.
but you don't have but you don't even, your zero is right here. Your zero is not even at the bottom of your structure that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, that was my mistake.
Yeah. And then three, this is like, so I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Because that's not 4-hour structure, but we talked about a couple of times how so gold is a commodity, but it's been literally like this whole area all through here, right? All throughout this structure. You putting a fib on this isn't valid because this isn't a valid structure to draw a fib. Do you see that? You see that?
Yeah.
See the difference between like
Because it's not a push away. You come back.
you said what?
Is it because it's not a clear push away?
Well, not even that. It's a triangle. Look at the structure. Like you don't have, where do you see? All right, so let's go back to learning. Impulse. correction, continuation. This is where we draw fib structures. Highs to lows. Those lows pull back into a fib level of some sort, whatever the PRZ level is, price reversal zone, and then it goes into our TP. All right. So you see how here, all of these, even when I draw my minor structures, and I know I'm on 4 hours, but I'm trying to show you from a higher perspective, just because people look at it easier to look at higher time frame than smaller. But you see how still everything pulls back to something? Does that make sense? If you go into, let's say, the only time I could see a fib being drawn in here is if it's like 15-minute
30
structure,
minute, 15
something of
minute.
that. Yeah. But to ask why negative 61.8 got broken on a 15-minute is like, I mean, that's not even a valid question. Because like we say all the time, like minor structures always easily broken. So this was that last, like, I would say, valid fib. You can either have it from here on a smaller structure, or you can pull it down to the higher point here. This pulled back to 38.2, came here, but again, on a higher time frame, we're literally at all-time highs on gold in this area. Make sense?
Yeah.
This trend line that I have right here that you said was your 4 hour, I have the same trend line, but I'm not like it's not a 4 hour it's not a 4 hour trend line. Like this trend line is just in this realm of the highs of price of where we are right now. Because there isn't real 4 hour structure. Like we've literally just been ascending on gold. Like we haven't really had any real pullbacks or anything at all in this structure. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Where we are right now. So this again, and this goes back to what we just talked about in regards to minor structure, minor move. So I had this minor divergence on gold, and you see it had a minor push up. You see the difference? Do y'all see the difference between this 15-minute divergence and that 4 hour on that other trade we were just looking at? Big
Yes, I do.
difference.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
It's
Huge
huge.
difference. This is like your everyday divergence that you're looking at when you're trading. So price hit a zone like I mean, even here we had like a little trend line breaking retest. I'm gonna go ahead and take this that triangle off. But even here, right, we came literally to this zone and then now we're here. Because we're at this zone right now, I mean, I'll go ahead and go over this while we want it. I wasn't gonna go over gold tonight. But I mean, if you look left, this has been a strong, like heavy low demand zone. So honestly, this will probably do kind of like the same thing. I'm looking for a buy on here, but look to see if this pulls back a little bit more before it pushes up. And when it pushes up, let's look left. Hold on, let me delete this for a second. I want to fully mark this up actually, but I'll just see what I see right now. So when you have your push up on here, look to see if it pulls back to like this area in here. Resistance, 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 support. Look to see if it pulls back to this area here. So look to see if price pushes lower before going higher. This will be your first area. And then if it pushes through that, the next would be where this high is right here. This is just off of impulse though, because I haven't even really looked at gold tonight, but based off of what I'm looking at right now, that's just the clearest thing. But again, I don't have fib structure. I don't have nothing on this right now.
Would it okay for us to put a minor fib on this little push up right here?
I don't like it. I don't like it just because the weight that the zone holds. So anytime I have like a zone that has heavy what's it called? Like heavy price in it, remember those zones can be looked at as magnets. Does that make sense? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that
it
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Makes sense.
So it's kind of looked at as magnets. Now, I don't want to tell you that you can't, because of course, like you can do whatever you want in the structure in which you look at. Like, what's it called? Like, let's say you're a scalper and you're literally on the charts tonight and you see something as price forms, like you can go ahead and call it out. But the way this, like, even if you look left, I have resistance that, like, where I just drew. That's why I just drew it right there when you just asked me that. Because I have resistance right there, like, I just like cleaner setups, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So it's not that it's all wrong, because I mean, throughout the night, your trade could play out. It's just not clean for me. So I wouldn't take it until I have more structure play out. But if I had to like anticipate and look and see, like just off rip of what I see gold doing, it would be this. So we have this little thing. I want to see if this zone attracts, because again, if we look right here, I'm sorry, hold on. If we look right here, all through here, all through this area, we were attracted. So we pushed up, came right back down, pushed up, came right back down, pushed up, came right back down. So we can't just say, oh, this zone doesn't mean anything and we're about to push straight up from here. Also, the other thing that why I say I could see this pushing down again is because we had so much momentum on Thursday that we all know, like, price doesn't just, I mean, actually, let me not even say that, because sometimes it can, but typically you'll have like somewhat of consolidation before price just pushes in the opposite way. The only time price really like pushes in one direction and then completely goes the opposite direction, it happens within a few hours. And typically that's like during news events where price get made a strong wick and then pushed down to complete a structure. So I have that to that. And then again, that zone that I just drew on there that I just deleted was up here, which kind of goes in line with this trend line that I just drew at the top to come here. Now, again, when I get off the call, and probably tonight when I'm actually trading, I'm going to be like in the charts and looking at this more. So I can, if I see something more, then I can give it to y'all or whatever. But where we are right now, I just want to see, like, so Nikki, like where we are, I don't want to tell you don't draw your fib, but I'm not trading none of this right now until I have more of a clean setup. I'm not trading GU or gold until more of my price forms, until I don't have no confluences on nothing. I don't have no confirmation on nothing.
Okay. I just had it set up, but when you say you're looking for like a small amount of buy or whatever, I had it set when I analyzed it, I had a small amount of buy too, but I have a zone above that one. And see that trend line you have right there that's coming from the top, like on your left. If you pull that trend line over right there, would that not qualify for a break and retest of like a higher time frame?
This one?
Yeah, no,
this one right here?
up. The one that's coming from the top right here. Yeah, that one. Like, is that not because I have that
one that I'm on right now?
Huh?
The one that I have in my hand right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Since you have those points on the left and you just pulled it over, is that not a break and retest?
I mean, it's slashing through price, but you can consider it a break and retest. But it's slashing through price.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's literally hitting the backside of this trend line. Like I said, 2 points, the trend line is valid. So this would be considered a break and retest. This would be considered a break and retest. I just, again, I'm not trading this right now until I got more confluences. The only confluence I have right now is that this is on its own. My divergence was minor. That divergence already played out. So until I have, we could all say, well, also, let me just also say it depends on what type of trader you are, because if you are a long-term trader, you can hop in this for a buy and just sit in it. I'm not that type of person. Like, I like my money in the days in which I traded. So I'm not hopping in this until I see more of a clearer, a clearer entry. Like, I'm a perfectionist with entries. So just because I'm a perfectionist with entries doesn't mean that somebody else is. Like, y'all remember my best friend Philip, my trading partner, like, he don't care about entries. He could care less. Like, he can literally sit in a trade and have 50 pips drawdown and he don't care. I don't like that shit. Like, it's not me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not hopping in this because I know that this could potentially push down to here, and I would rather catch it down here than to sit in the drawdown and wait for it to come down here and then push up. If you are the type of person that you're okay with literally getting in drawdown before this pushes up, like, we can all agree that, like, I could potentially see this pushing to this level up here, because once price came right here, now it's just leveled off. Like, we didn't have any more aggression. But again, just in my experience with trading, this is a zone. A zone is like a magnet. So I'm not just going to just hop in this for a buy until more price kind of levels out and plays out. But that's just me. So I don't want nobody, like, just because I don't hop in a trade right now to feel like their trade isn't correct. It's just not for me right now.
No, I don't trade gold at all. I just analyze it every week. So when I do be ready to trade it, I'll be kind of familiar with it. So I was just asking.
Oh, got you. No worries. Well, yeah, that's just what I see right now. But then it's just like, I need to fully do a whole breakdown on all of this anyway, because I only took one trade last week. It was my wedding week. I was not really in the charts like that at all. So I want to fully, like, break down everything and fully redraw stuff. And like I said, if I see any updates or anything this week, then I'll definitely let y'all know. But where I am right now, just like I was on GU, I could see minor pullbacks to here. And this is a very last minute analysis on gold, because I wasn't even expecting to go over this tonight, but a very small area here to come. Everybody understand?
Yeah. Jess, as an intraday
Yes.
trader, would you like draw zones that are like smaller than the 15-minute?
No. I don't really do too much under the 15-minute.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So,
can you post this, Jess?
Huh?
Will you be able to post this tonight so we can review the video tonight?
It's on YouTube. All Sunday calls are posted immediately.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, you guys. Well, I will see y'all next Sunday.
Good night, Miss McDonald.
So much, Jess.
Thanks, Jess.
Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.